Welcome to Sako and the Moon movie review. She's Sako, I'm the Moon, and today we are going to review the movie Annabelle. We're a little bit late on this review, though.
Yeah, a little bit. A little
We're a
bit.
little bit late, and that's on me. I had some family stuff, but I appreciate you guys hanging out and waiting for us to get to this movie review. Only slightly late. It's like what, 4 days? Like only 4 days.
Days
It's fine.
is
It's fine because not only do we get
fine.
this review on Tuesday, but you'll get another review on Thursday for last Friday's guest, Tommy B. Smith. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing that movie, seeing the movie Thrash. It's on Netflix and everyone says it's pretty good.
It's not on Netflix.
Thrash is.
Oh, Thrashes, yes.
Yeah. Annabelle is not. I was watching Annabelle on I think HBO Max or somewhere.
I was, yes.
Yeah. So yeah. Thrash is Thursday, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel so that you can be notified when that review goes on. And we can go ahead and get into our review of Annabelle because who wants to stall on talking about creepy dolls?
Which we picked that topic based on the topic that we had on our Friday show, which is about horror craft and writing and self-publishing and stuff like that.
And such.
And such. But we also do these movie reviews.
Because movies are cool and quintessential to horror. I think that's the best part about doing the movie reviews and why movie reviews and conversations about movies are so important because horror novels are great, but there's something about when you read a horror novel, it's words and you have to envision everything yourself. But when you're watching it, you get to engross yourself with the visual, the audio, and how all of these things impact the scare. So I love horror movies.
Really look forward to talking about the scares. But okay, so we use, if you haven't seen any of our movie reviews before,
You should go back and watch all of them.
yes, that too. But we do a 4-star system. And 4-star. And I will go to the media assets where we talk about theme, production,
Yep.
writing, and
Naturally.
characterization.
Because what's a good movie without good characters?
Indeed. And what were the actors like? Right?
Right. Because casting is so important when it comes to a movie.
Yes. So let's get into theme. There are 3 categories within this star that we talk about the message, we talk about tone and mood, and we talk about the backstory a little bit, which is like trivia and behind the scenes stuff.
The other stuff. Yeah.
So the message is
don't fuck with creepy dolls.
Also dolls, but don't fuck with cults. Like they just have.
And the worst part is they weren't even messing with the cult. The cult was messing with them. They just lock your doors. That's the other thing. I don't care if it's the 50s or whatever. Lock your doors. Because a lot of this stuff has started off because a girl didn't lock the door after complaining about her husband not locking the door. I thought that was fun. Our main character, I gotta see here. I gotta look at my notes and get names here. We have our main character of people. It's John and Mia, and I'll go into the details of what the movie was about later. It's creepy dolls. But yeah, Mia fusses at John about not locking the door, and then she leaves the door wide open when he goes to check on the neighbors. And what happens?
Exactly.
Colt gets in. I'm going to switch my camera. Just do this little thing right here. There you go. That's a little bit better.
Okay.
I look semi-normal from here. It's cool.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my message. Don't mess with creepy dolls because creepy dolls are creepy, and dolls are dolls. Very profound statement from the moon.
Okay, so the tone. It did Dread so well. But it was like one part normalcy to one part Dread.
I can see that. A lot of what I got had to do with the dynamic between mother and child. And the age-old tale of how far a mother will go to protect her young. What will a mother go through? What will the mother be willing to sacrifice? And I think that is the overarching theme is sacrifice.
There was a quote from The Crow that was, "Mother is the name for God on the lips and hearts of all children." And that quote fits in this movie like pretty firmly.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
For
me, it's a creepy doll movie. It's a creepy doll movie. Like that's so it's a creepy doll movie, and kind of all creepy doll movies are kind of all the same. Like there's doll movies, and then there's creepy doll movies where the actual sinisterness is the fact that this doll is possessed or creepy, is possessed by the soul of a satanic cult member. Let me say devil worshipping cult member. It's different. It's different. The Church of Satan doesn't actually worship Satan, so I feel like it's only fair to the Church of Satan to be accurate. It's a matter of accuracy, people. So devil worshipping cult member who is the daughter of their next door neighbor, and they just happen to be caught up there. The cult member possesses the doll with a demon attached, and they want a soul. They want a soul. And I'll get into like the details of how I feel about that process in the writing, but otherwise that's pretty standard, and it followed suit. But I think it's only fair to note that this is a Conjuring movie, so this all boils down to the Warrens, Ed and Lorraine Warren. So this all boils down to them, although they don't really play a part in this movie.
They briefly mention Lorraine and
Ed.
in the second act.
When the bird outside of my window said yes.
Cheep.
Yeah. I needed my office aired out, so the window's open. So God only knows what we're going to hear in this episode. It's going to be a fun set of shows today. It'll take too long. It'll take too long to reach over there and close that.
Yeah.
It's fine. You guys can like do a drinking game and like drink water. Time. Yeah, drink water every time you hear the bird chirping outside. Then you'll stay hydrated. Sako the moon says to be hydrated.
I finished my water, so
I'm drinking water right now, but I'm just drinking it in our cool Sako the moon cup.
Oh, thank you. Backstory. Yeah. The baby mobile hanging over the crib plays the same tune as the music box from The Conjuring.
Let's see. Being in separate movies, I wouldn't have paid attention to that. I wouldn't have done that.
I like the Conjuring series, so
you're okay.
The more of them I watch, the more into it I am.
Interesting. I know a lot of people who kind of feel the opposite way, but there is a lot of controversy when it comes to the Warrens. Oh yeah, there's been a lot of conversation about whether or not the Warrens were legit, whether or not the stories were staged. Some of the families genuinely dealt with things, but it was exaggerated or overplayed, or how much help the Warrens were was a little overdone. That's the rumors. That's the theory. That's just some of the thing with the Warrens. So I think that kind of taints the series a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when you get into The Conjuring, it's one of those based on a true story kind of movies, and so you know that Ed and Lorraine Warren were real people, and then they like when you watch it into that frame, you take things in a certain way. Now, if you present it as all fiction, you view it as a different way, and you can accept it a lot differently. And I think that's the more things, the more the Conjuring movies came out, the more people talked about the Warrens, the more controversy there was about the Warrens, and then the more it kind of taints the legacy of the Conjuring series. But once you go into these little sub franchises, like the Annabelle franchise or the Nun franchise or La Llorona, when you go to these other little sub franchises, it's less about the Warrens and it's more about the horror story being told.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm cool with it either way, but I like my fiction to be presented as fiction.
So part of the Warren controversy is all into how much of a role they actually played in the investigations of these hauntings.
Yeah, they're getting more credit than they deserve, and that kind of again taints the whole thing for a lot of the Conjuring movies. Not necessarily this movie, because like I said, once you start getting into these franchises, it's less about the Warrens and it's more about the horror story being told. So I will still be objective, but that's a lot of backstory and trivia stuff that I think is only fair to keep in mind as we're discussing Conjuring movies.
Well, while The Conjuring was based on, which purports to be based on true events, this prequel is a completely fictional narrative of the previous owner of the doll before it was given to the two nurses at the beginning of The Conjuring.
Yes. Which we do see at the beginning of this movie. And then we see how those nurses...
And the end.
We see the nurses, how they acquire... Like, we start off with the nurses and they tell the story, and we go into blah, 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 blah. We go into the narrative of the movie, and then at the end, we see how the nurses came across the doll in the end, and that's how the series ties in. As an overall franchise and having this line of movies and then all these branches of subgenre, like sub franchises,
little like offshoots.
They connect very well. So the writing is good and consistent. I think these are James Wan movies. Are they all James Wan movies?
Only one scene in Annabelle was by James Wan.
Okay.
It was the elevator scene.
I don't remember that one off the top of my head.
Oh.
You'll have to read this to me because I can't see most of it because of the arm right there.
To the credit they receive, I would be willing to stand up for them. They had case files on these hauntings, but they didn't play as large of a role removing the hauntings as it was portrayed.
See, there you go. So it's again, it's one of those things where you take that in. It's the salt upon which you take a grain of.
Fair.
I think that's it.
Do we give the theme a star?
I still say yes. I
say yes. Not just because it was of its connection to The Conjuring, but it like as its own movie, it kind of stands pretty strong. The theme.
I feel that
is
it's a creepy doll movie.
Possessed Doll. Possessed Doll.
And
Yeah.
does it do creepy doll well? Does creepy doll just fine? Does it well, very well, as a matter of fact.
Very well.
The creepy doll was creepy. If the doll looks like, ooh, that better not come in my house, you already got points, in your favor. So
yeah, and we'll get into that when we get into props, I think.
Which is now.
Nowish. Yeah. Production. Banners. Production. Art direction, makeup and props, and cinematography. Yeah. As far as art direction, I thought it was like excellent composition artistically of all the shots.
Yeah. They were able to get the
you can
lighting and the color
focus on
scheme to fit the time frame. It fit the era that it was supposed to be in. Everything fit the period right.
I thought the transitions in the cinematography were very cool.
For me, it was lighting. And
lighting was great. Yeah.
You have the scene where John is going to go check on the neighbors because he hears something. He's going to go check on the neighbors, and there's just enough light. You know what I mean? There's just enough light to see what you got to see and do what you got to do, and that's sometimes tricky to do. But you can do a lot of it in post, but you still got to make sure you film it right and at first.
So since the Warrens are no longer able to defend themselves, I'll leave the facts there. So originally the producers consulted with Lorraine on the cases as they wrote the franchise storyline.
We should just have Amanda on the show then.
I know. I should send her a link.
She's at work.
Oh, okay. The makeup and props, the props and the setting dressing were beautiful. Like, I think just excellently done.
Props is definitely the category that you really need to focus on here because this is a creepy doll movie. So first and foremost, we have to see what the doll looks like. Not just that doll, but the other dolls too. This Annabelle doll, this doll was part of a set that Mia was collecting, and all of the dolls did look like they fit in a set together. Even the non-possessed, Annabelle doll, which wasn't originally called Annabelle, was named Annabelle after the woman who possessed the doll. But even that doll was creepy. I'm like, ooh, I wouldn't want this doll in my house. Why is this doll even? First of all, too many dolls. Quit collecting dolls, people. Quit collecting dolls. I know there's doll makers out there who'd be mad at me for saying that. Don't collect dolls. They're creepy. They're super creepy. Stop it. Stop it. Quit giving people dolls.
There is this scene. The only blood in the whole movie was the blood on the dolls' faces. And I just felt like that was like pouring salt into the wound. Like,
there was blood on the walls in the neighbor's house when we get a quick flash before Mia wakes up.
Yeah.
We get a quick flash of that, and I loved how that was. I love that scene because it was foreground and background, and everything, all the work was happening in the background while the shot locked on the foreground. I thought it was
so well done.
Yeah, it's just
yeah.
You gotta know, like, the foreground is not where all the work has to happen, filmmakers. Like, you can do other stuff in other parts of the frame. Use the whole frame. Use the wrestling is because everything comes back to wrestling. Wrestling has started to do that. If you're watching WWE products, watch the backstage promos and vignettes, because usually if there's like a backstage interview, there's sometimes something going on in the background that may not play a part immediately, but it'll come back like 3, 4, 5 weeks. You know, we remember there was a point in time where Finn Balor was talking to Roxanne Perez, and then eventually she joins the Judgment Day, and she's still part of that group now. So pay attention to what's going on in the background, and that's just as true for horror and actually all movies. Subtle things are happening in your background. Little things are moving. We have a lot of things walking in the background.
Or dark hands, or even the devil himself, like
lights in a room and lights shutting off.
All the shadows, and
we did Long Legs as a review not too long ago, and background in Windows, the devil would show up. Side note: they have greenlit a sequel to Long Legs.
Oh,
it's coming out in 28. It's coming out in 28, I think. So that's wild to me. I have no idea. I'm in too. I have no idea what they're doing with this story.
Me either.
But you guys should go back and watch our Long Legs review, since the sequel is coming out in a couple of years. Go back and watch our Long Legs review, because
so
why
not? I have all these paper notes.
Okay.
And this is kind of the time for me to read them.
Floor is yours.
The theme itself was like dread and jump scares on multiple scales. Like, the stakes were small in the beginning, and then they grew as the story progressed, which I really appreciated.
There's some one particular jump scare that is kind of the jump scare of the movie. It's when Mia's in the nursery and you look across the hall to the other room, or she's in one room and there's a room across the hall, the doors are open, and she sees a little girl, and the little girl's just staying there staring at Mia staring at the little girl, and then Mia starts to run. She starts to run, and it jumps from when the little girl gets to the threshold of the room she's in up to, like, it skips the hallway, and next it's like the adult Annabelle, who was the neighbor's daughter. It's like right in front of Mia, just like right at her. It's like great jump scare. Great editing. That's editing.
Great editing.
Editors don't get enough credit.
Mm-hmm.
Great editors. Shout out to whoever edited this movie.
Excellent dread with the sewing machine and the child's pictures, and I noticed you gotta pay attention for catching the jumps.
Yeah.
I was thankful for being able to back it up a couple of seconds to really soak in what the trigger was.
Yeah.
Great props, nice dressing, emotive in the latter half, good sound engineering.
Yeah. And you really have to watch out for those shadows in this movie, because when the devil is chasing her on the staircase.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is after the elevator scene you were talking about.
It was.
Because now I remember which elevator scene we're talking about. We're talking about I don't think of it as the elevator scene. I think of it as the basement scene. That's why it didn't click. For the record, it's a scene where, for whatever reason, she's dealing with creepy stuff. Her baby's in the apartment on the 4th floor, and she decides that this is the perfect time to leave the baby alone, go to the elevator, go down into the basement, drop some stuff off in storage, and pop back up when there's a storm outside. This is the perfect time to not leave your fucking house.
Mm-hmm.
Don't leave your apartment and don't leave the baby by itself. Just don't. So then you get to the point where she's going in to get in the elevator, and the elevator just doesn't move, which goes into something we talked about on this show before. One of the things that is the most scariest thing in real life are normal things that don't do normal things. For example, elevators. You expect that when you go into an elevator, you push, if you're on the first floor and you push 3, the elevator is going to go, all right, cool. Floor 2, floor 3. Simple as that. If you're on the 4th floor and you push down and you tell it to go to the first floor, it's going to go to 4, it's going to go to 3, then 2, and then 1. Now, if all of a sudden the elevator does anything else other than that, people start to get scared. People start to panic. These are real life panics that you and I, you at home and me, myself, would if you start getting in an elevator and you hit the button to go up or go down and all of a sudden it doesn't, people start to panic. If you're stuck in the elevator and you try to tell the door to open and it doesn't,
as a claustrophobe, elevators are without mirrors are terrible. And if a elevator decides to act up while I'm in it, you can assume that my anxiety is peaked.
And that is the beginning of fear. Peaked anxiety, that's the beginning of fear. So one of the things that this movie does so well is the utilization of regular items not doing what they should. Regular things not doing regular things, like the sewing machine, for example.
The sewing machine,
the sewing machine that, like, first of all, bonus to the fact that they made it like where the husband had no idea how the sewing machine worked.
Yeah.
Because realistically, most particularly in that time frame, I'm saying we were like probably like in the 40s, 50s. Guys aren't going to know how the sewing machine works. We're just not. So shout out to that little bit of character work. But the sewing machine just cutting on, that's not something sewing machines do, right?
Yeah.
So it's just little things like a sewing machine cutting on when it shouldn't, an elevator not going up when it should. All these little things are just little things to create panic, to create dread, to create anxiety. All of these things are crucial to a good. It's a crucial thing to a good scare.
The fire, like the Jiffy Pop, like bursting into flames and setting the kitchen on fire.
I had a Scream flashback when that happened.
And
every time I see that scene,
I thought there was a really cool use of the drag trope.
What do you mean?
Right there. She falls on her stomach and goes, oh she gets pulled? And she gets pulled towards the fire. Yeah. And I thought that was just mwah.
It was done so well. It was done very, very well.
And the dread with the dread with the sewing machine. I have put a sewing machine needle through my finger. And
the best part, they set that up like way early in the movie. You knew she was going to cut her finger on that sewing machine at some point, because they started just doing camera shots where she's feeding the fabric into the sewing machine, and then nothing happens. So you're like, okay, all right, maybe I just want things to happen. And then they do it for like a second time. And the second time, and you're just like, you just got closer and closer on the feeding of the fabric into the
and her eyes on the TV and the Jiffy Pop doing its thing.
Just little things. And it doesn't happen, then it does. And you're just like, oh, okay, cool. And it's little things like that that's key to good writing, key to good character work. Props were great.
The father, the priest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought they handled him like excellently. I knew he was gonna die. but I was surprised at how they did that.
How so?
In that he gets knocked back from the church.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't die.
I was gonna say, because he didn't.
He doesn't die, but he was the target of the evil,
Mm-hmm.
right?
You gotta attack the church.
He got attacked at church. And I just thought that was part of the climax of the movie.
And he was
Was his fight with the evil.
and he was in La Llorona, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was the priest in that.
La Llorona, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And he was in Stargate.
Mm-hmm.
So
he was also in Stargate, yeah.
he's in Stargate SG-1. He plays Braytech, if I'm not mistaken. So
yes,
shout out to my Stargate friends.
Cool. Do we give production a star? I say yes.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, we haven't said an ill word about the production, so it's really hard to not give it a star after all that.
Yeah. All right. Writing.
Okay.
I want to hear what you have to say about the writing first.
Well, first and foremost, we tell the story. And this is a simple story because there's a lot of nuance, but the nuance doesn't ultimately matter. So, long and short of it, John and Mia live next door to this older couple. They go to church together, and the older couple recently had their daughter go missing. She was part of a cult. That night, her and her boyfriend, who's never named, they show up, they sacrifice the parents, and then go next door and attack John and Mia. In the process, the daughter, Annabelle, commits suicide while holding the doll. Blood from it's like a sacrificial thing. Now the doll is possessed. Long and short, Mia is upset about this attack. They move for John's job, and the doll doesn't leave them alone, no matter how hard they tried. And story. We continue with hauntings. They meet a neighbor who eventually, this is where spoilers come in, eventually will sacrifice herself at the end of the movie. Why? Because the demon wanted a soul. And this is where I go into my thoughts on the writing. Because really, like, that's the movie in a nutshell. That's it. That's the whole thing.
That's the whole thing.
Which I
story
love.
was simple enough that they could fill it with nuance on the way.
So the goal of the demon wants a soul, right? It wants someone's soul. You think, and the mother thinks that it wants the baby's soul,
right?
Because Mia was pregnant and had a baby. But it's not Mia's soul they want, or the baby's soul they want. It's Mia's. And how else would you get a mother to sacrifice, to willingly give up her soul? And that is to voluntarily trade it for that to save her own child. Again, mother's love. And so basically the whole movie is just the demon fucking with Mia to upset her so much that her baby's in danger that she will voluntarily give up her own soul.
Yep.
Now, the neighbor in question had previously lost her child, so she was like, I ain't got much to live for, and I will sacrifice for your baby because I don't have my baby here to sacrifice for. And she gives herself up, and that's how the demon is satiated at the end.
Yeah.
Which I thought was fine. It does lead to a story where you're just kind of beating a dead horse. It is torturous. It's
the normalcy scenes were a little torturous.
Well, they were, but what I mean by torturous was the demon was just trying to torture Mia.
Yeah.
It's not so much that he was like aiming to reach a thing; it was just trying to break down
Father
Mia.
of lies. Yeah.
He was trying to break down Mia to the point where she would eventually give up her soul voluntarily, because they had to give up her soul voluntarily. Someone had to choose to do it. So there you go. The neighbor dies and the family lives on, and they give her the doll.
Do you think... So normally we would talk about the dialogue. I thought the dialogue was just the right amount of archaic.
How do you mean?
I mean that the way that they talked was indicative of the time frame.
It did, yeah. They managed to get the wording, the phrasing, the cadences of
The
the time.
vocabulary, the cadence, all of that, I felt like was very, very indicative of the time period.
Yeah.
And that was nicely done. The pacing, I watched the first third of it and I was like, and I kind of walked away from the movie for a week and came back to it today, as a matter
In
of
time for the
fact.
show.
In time for the show. Yeah, so I thought the pacing in the second and third act were excellent, but the normalcy scenes kind of took me out of the story a little bit. The transitions between the normalcy and the horror scenes were excellently written.
Yeah. Those are done really well.
Those
Again,
are done
I think
really
a lot
well.
of that has to do with the editor. Shout out to the editor. I should
shout out to the editor. Yeah.
And shout out to all editors, because movies don't get made without good editors. And sometimes that's the difference between a good movie and a bad movie, is how well it was put together.
I used to have this fun habit of looking for different edits of commercials for trailers, for like movie trailers.
Yeah.
So it would like change the genre of the trailer.
Yeah.
And I have a soft spot for shit like that.
It's very interesting to take you. So if I'm thinking about what Sako's thinking about, you can take a movie, right? Let's say Annabelle, and you can piece together. You take the whole film and piece it together a certain way. You can present a dreadful horror movie or a nice, cute little romance that takes place in the 50s.
Yep.
Same scenes from the same movie, but as you kind of have this drama curve, if you will, then all of your low points are probably your scares. Put those together, horror movie. All your high points, it's a romance, because it is a man. It's a man and woman who are married, who are trying to take care of their child and just protect their kid.
Yeah.
And it just happens to be from a dreadful demon. Here's where I'm torn. Here's where I'm torn with the writing. Exactly. Thank you, Katie. I'm torn with the writing because I feel like they've done exactly what they intended to do. They wanted to slow burn the dread because you needed the mom to be tortured so much that she would voluntarily give up her soul to save her kid.
And even though I'm not a mother, and I've not gone through anything like that in my life. Um, the, uh, my brain just emptied out of my ears.
Well, while you're thinking about that, let me go on to the other half of that argument.
Okay, do it.
The other half of that argument is, while they're doing exactly what they intended to do, right? They're presenting the movie they want to present. At the same time, it's slow and sometimes hard to watch. I love Martyrs, right? But there's a lot of action, a lot of things going on in the first half of the movie, and then you get to towards the end where, spoilers for Martyr in 5, 4, because that's not the movie we promised to spoil, so I'm giving you time. The ending is just terror. It's just dreadful terror. It's just torture on torture on torture, until this person is broken down to like barely a sense of existence. And it's slow to watch. It's a very slow burn watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is good if you're into, watching someone being tortured. If you are, don't admit to it. Calm down. But otherwise, it's slow, and again, you do want to kind of fall asleep and zonk out or whatever. So it's kind of like, all right, get on to it already. Get on to it. That's why you need some of those jump scares to wake people up who are watching the movie, because there are points in time where it gets boring. Again, I'm sometimes bored by parts of it, but I have to acknowledge that was the goal, not to bore me, but to slowly wear away at the mom. So it's like, do I work against it or vote against it because I was bored by it, or do I give them credit for executing accurately what they were aiming to do? It's where I'm torn. And if I'm being fair, I will lean towards giving them credit for doing what they intended to do. We both have very squeaky chairs, ladies and gentlemen. I am so sorry.
I am so sorry.
My
I
chair
want to
squeaky also.
replace this chair so bad, but I'm starting to run out of excuses because my favorite chair on the internet is now $80.
I had to start
And
buying another chair. I just bought this one like a year ago.
I want a chair that I can sit with my legs crossed with my guitar.
Oh, one of those big chairs. I want one with like a footrest thing, but we're not talking about chairs here.
Okay.
I'm trying to stay focused. I don't stay focused. I'm trying to stay focused. I'm learning, trying to learn, trying to do better. But if you all have good chair recommendations, me and Sako are totally listening. So you can drop those chair recommendations in the comments. It's okay.
I admit nothing.
Right. I don't even know what you're trying to not admit.
WD-40. Maybe.
No.
It doesn't help. Yeah.
Actually, I haven't tried it, but it's right there. So maybe today I will, just because Jenny said so in the comments.
Okay. Star for the writing? Question mark.
If you're giving it a star, I'll give it a star. That's not normally how I vote. But like I said,
but what are the drawbacks?
Again, I was bored because after a while, it's just the demons picking on Mia, which is fine.
I liked it.
I did not like it. It's just at some point,
but that's less about the story.
I need stuff to happen. I need stuff to. It's how things are written, and for example, The basement scene, the elevator scene, went on just a little bit too long. And I felt like that particular scene was foolish. Because if you've already been dealing with some stuff with your brand new baby and haunted this and haunted that, you're already been haunted and tormented for half this movie, right? What you wouldn't do, what I wouldn't do, what most people I think wouldn't do is in a storm, after you've already been dealing with some hauntings, go to leave your baby alone, go to an elevator, go down to the dark basement just to put something away in storage, something you can do tomorrow.
Yeah.
When it's daylight and not storming, maybe John's home.
Yeah.
Maybe have your neighbor with you. Like, I feel like that was such an out of place thing to happen.
Yeah.
Right? The action of the mother, of Mia, so out of place that it was only done so we can have that basement scare with the demon in the background.
That James Wan scene down in the basement with the elevator.
And don't get me wrong, in isolation, beautiful scene, incredibly well done.
Mm-hmm. However, it kind of takes you out of the rest of the movie.
Because the entire time I'm watching this scene is, why'd you leave your baby alone? Why'd you wait till it was storming? Anything, demons aside, anything can happen. Throw out the power, and you're stuck in the elevator. Now you're stuck in an elevator where your baby's alone in the room, and you can't get a hold of anybody because it's the fucking 50s.
Yeah,
you don't have a cell phone. We don't have that technology. We don't have Wi-Fi pinging through the building. We don't have our phone in our pocket that we can just call someone and say, "Hey, can you hit up, my baby so that it's not alone?" Or, "Hey, I'm stuck in an elevator." You're just there. This is not that time frame. So I just felt like it was a foolish thing for the character to have done. And it was only done so that we could do this scene. Great scene. Glad we have it. Didn't feel like the setup and the lead into the scene made sense.
Right.
Otherwise, I have very few complaints ultimately, but it was just a really long movie. It felt like a really long movie.
It did.
It felt longer than it should have. This is
it goes faster it goes fast. It's about 2 hours. If you watch it with friends, it's a little more fun.
Most movies are in general, but I'm just like, come on now. Like, it felt longer than it should have. What do I got here for the runtime?
In Amanda's opinion, they had so much creative freedom since the true story they were capturing in this installment was from a medium vision, so they could have been more creative. Yeah, exactly.
Hour 40, so 100 minutes.
Oh, okay. So it was all the commercials and shit that I was dealing with. Yeah.
But yeah, so the movie's an hour 40. It's 100 minutes, and it felt all of north of 2 hours. It felt north of 2 hours. And I just don't think we needed that much time. It shouldn't have felt like that much time. Again, that's how I feel about it, and that's my personal thoughts. But if I'm being technical and being fair, they were trying to create dread in Mia. They were trying to wear her down over time. And that's what they did. It's just that takes a long time to do story-wise. And I felt every minute of it. So I can be upset about it, but it's kind of me being mad because what they were trying to do worked. You see what I'm saying?
I'm going to say no star for the writing.
I'll say half star for the writing.
Half star for the writing. Okay.
Because again, I have to give them credit because what they were trying to do worked. They executed their plan as they intended to do so. So it's kind of hard to get upset with them for succeeding. But I do feel like some scenes were just kind of forced and didn't need to be. it was a good movie. The story is good. The source of your antagonist is good. Your protagonists are just a suburbanite couple trying to do their suburbanite thing. What do you know? So
Excuse
yeah,
me.
half star.
Half star.
I'm good
Okay.
with that.
On to characterization. Casting, consistency and evolution, and POV. The casting I thought was fine.
I had no issue with the casting. Everyone played their role. They fit their role. The priest was great, but I loved him in all of his other works, so I'm going to be biased. I think the character of John and the character of Mia, that interaction is very much of the time. There's a lot of listen to your husband, do as your husband says, and
Trad wife sort of.
Yeah, and men didn't believe women. It's like, hey, John, something weird is happening at the house. I'm sure it's fine. No, something's really strange happening here. I don't think it's that serious. Don't worry about it. I think it's going to be fine. It's probably just your hormones or whatever excuse men at the time give women at the time. I've recently had a conversation about The Omen, and we see the same thing in Thorne, Robert Thorne. Same thing. The mom is experiencing weird shit, and the husband is just like, it's fine. It's cool. Don't even worry about it. Which is a sad reflection of the time. However, it's a good trope to use because obviously when someone has experienced, when you're the only one to experience the terror, it's hard to get support. So it makes the person who's suffering feel alone, regardless of who's around them. So that's a good tool.
That vibe that they did with their relationship, I thought
it was good, and that's a character. That's characterization. That is playing the role of the characters very well. They executed that. They executed that well. I had no issues with that.
The evolution was also very well done because how do you get from not wanting your soul to go to this devil and going straight to the other end to let's sacrifice ourselves for getting our daughter back.
Let the husband come home and see you standing in the windowsill like, I'm gonna jump, yo. I'm over it. I gotta do it. I just gotta do it. So it's less. It is an evolutionary change. Technically it's like a mental de-evolution. As we've said before, as we were discussing the writing, we take the character of Mia and we're breaking her down, right? We are wearing her down mentally, emotionally, physically. We are wearing her down. And we get to such a place, such a low place where Mia's just like, fuck it. Like at this point, I'm just done. I got look, take care of the baby, watch over her, make sure she knows that mommy loves her. I'm out. I can't anymore. If that's what the demon wants, fuck it. I'm gonna give it to him. And that's where you have to be able to play that off. There's going to be subtle changes over time, and I think the actress that played Mia did a great job on those subtle changes.
I also thought she especially in the third act.
Side note: her name is Annabelle. The actress that played Mia, her name is Annabelle.
Oh, I thought it was Alfra. But was Alfra the black woman?
Yeah, you can't see
Oh,
that.
okay.
Let me. Can we see that?
Yeah.
You see Sako in the reflection there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Annabelle Wallace,
Mm-hmm.
Wallis.
Mm-hmm.
She played Mia, so I think that's fun to be named Annabelle and play in the movie called Annabelle.
Wicked. And obviously it's from Mia's point of view.
Yeah, which I
And
think, like most of these movies, like I was mentioning, most of these protection of a child movies are from the mother's perspective. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing one from the father's perspective, like genuinely from the father's perspective. I guess you got like A Quiet Place.
I guess.
I guess only the first one because spoiler again, um, he dies. The
Yeah.
father dies in A Quiet Place. So
Such is life.
such is life.
So do we give it a star?
Yeah,
So 3.5.
yeah, 3.5
I
stars.
think 3.5 stars. For Annabelle 2014. And thank you for sitting with us while we prattled on about the technical aspects of this movie.
Yeah, you can
And
see how excited we were about this movie. Like part of it's like daily low energy, but also it's like you've seen some of the reviews that we've done on this show, and we get really excited in talking about it. This was a good movie.
Oh, Mama was from the father's perspective, but that was,
I'd have to see Mama again.
yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen Mama.
I loved that movie.
Which is, by the way, a different movie than Ma and a different movie than Mother. These are all different movies.
All different movies.
So yeah.
Aw, thank you, Jenny.
And for those who didn't know how to spell prattle,
all right. Friday. I'm still
Thursday.
Thursday we cover
Thrash
on
as
Netflix.
suggested by Tommy B. Smith. And this is a fair one because this is a new one. This is a fairly new movie. So
2026, yeah.
So like it's only been out for maybe a couple months. Hell, 2026 has only been here for a couple months. So my suggestion is now that it's Tuesday, our review is going to be about the same time Thursday. Go watch it tonight or tomorrow so that you can be informed. We will spoil the movie. Yes.
Thrash.
That is correct. We will spoil the movie. We will discuss the ending. And I don't like to spoil movies that are so new.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to tell you how we like a movie without telling you what happens in said movie. So, spoiler warning. My suggestion, go watch Thrash. It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix right now. So if you already have Netflix, it's cool. If you don't, go hang out with a friend that does. And if that's not what you're going to do, then you probably don't care about Thrash in the first place. So then watch our
It's
review.
a shark movie.
So watch the review and just hear about it from us.
So I'm excited about it. And then the following Friday,
we're going to talk about something.
I'm thinking mind control versus mind reading.
I can pull something together for that, I'm sure. Two very interesting powers that can be used in two different ways.
Yes. Absolutely. And we'll go into how to use those powers in your books And we'll get into the nitty-gritty of what you're afraid of. So, what scares you more, mind reading or... Yeah.
It would definitely be an answer I give on Friday.
Yeah. So
yeah,
you
this is
might
going to
want
be
to
one of those.
ring that bell and
You
make
will.
sure you select all instead of personalized.
Yeah, because we talk about all kinds of weird shit, and we have different time scales because life happens in real time. But yeah, no, like mind you, we love to tell you how to implicate things into your writing. So if the subject doesn't seem like it makes sense, it will when you watch it because it's going to be how you're going to use which power in what situation.
Yes.
It's the mind,
All
a terrible
right.
thing to waste. So use it properly in your stories.
So use it properly in your stories.